So the next phase, we work with people. So this is where we actually get down to the promotions and talk about, okay, well, how are we going to promote each milestone? And can we make sure that all the milestones are promoted? Because I really recommend that if you have a milestone that you don't promote, it's almost not worth having, because people have so much information coming at them and you have to remind them what's going on and what you're doing. So build a detailed plan, really believe in marketing early and often. Again, that doesn't mean spending money, it just means making sure you're communicating to some subset of your audience that you want to reach. I actually advocate reaching your core past participants early is a home run. I had this one client who asked me, he's like, well, just if you're going to market early and just get all my participants earlier, I'm going to end up with the same amount of participants who are just going to sign up earlier and at maybe even a lower fee. And I said, well, I would argue that someone signing up 6 months out is probably going to bring 6 people with them. I do not have the data yet. Hopefully you guys can help me with that at some point. But the idea of how many people bring to an event based on when they sign up, I think is really intriguing. And I will say anecdotally, we found that when we do generate registrations early, it results in stronger results as we do those promotions later in the year. To market early and often. Top of mind enables targeted marketing. So top of mind marketing is basically, your typical print ad or postcards or posters. Those are all top of mind marketing elements where you get an idea of what the brand is. And a lot of people will drop those and just focus on the targeted marketing elements. But I think that if someone doesn't know about your event enough or know what's different this year, and then you just try to send them a compelling call to action, they're less likely to convert. If they're aware of your event and they're kind of interested and then they see there's a compelling call to action, they're likely to convert. We see it all the time. Again, the client I talked about earlier didn't run print the first year. He did them with us. He just did the targeted milestone-based marketing. And he wasn't really happy with the first 2 events because one went up 50%. The other one, he actually ended up canceling because it really was a relatively, it turned out, flawed concept, which he may resurrect later. But we said, you didn't opt into any of the print elements. And so I just added them for him. I said, look, we're just going to add print elements to see how they work. And lo and behold, all of the marketing that he did after that had a substantially more significant impact. And because he bought a large campaign with us, we gave him those, we comped those print ads, but if we charged him, the price would have been low enough where he would have had still a substantial enough ROI where it made sense. And this year, he's paying the promotional discounted rate for those, but he's still paying for them because he knows that they're important. And of course, integrating your plan with your online registration platform, certainly the use of special promo codes, but loyalty programs and Facebook ad tracking, those are fantastic elements to include in your marketing. So we come back to this picture, we're now in the build phase. We just saw this a minute ago. We basically have to build a list of activities for all 16 promotions because every promotion has some level of activity. I'm not going to do it for all 16, but I'll just give you an example of one. And I just want a disclaimer that there are 1,000 ways to promote a milestone. So this is just an example. The first item here is emailing past participants. If you've imported your previous year participants, you can integrate that with the RunSignUp email tool and have it be scheduled and be really effective. But again, I would argue that that alone is going to have a substantially lower impact than investing some dollars in marketing. If you're weary of spending too much money, then you can back off. But here's an example. Promotion 1 is a sale. It's $20 off. It's announcing registration opens. Promo code do it again. And you would announce it. So we believe, again, on these targeted milestones, we really focus on announce and remind. We do it so pervasively that we've actually, for our SPORToften clients, we actually bonus them the second email because we know it's so much more effective. We used to sell these for, I think we did some calculations, some standard industry calculation where they'd be maybe $2,500 for 50,000 people to reach. And if you do it twice, it's $5,000. Well, very few people are going to do that. I mean, Competitor Group kind of does it, and some bigger race companies do spend like that, but we're trying to grow all of our regional events as well. So we basically said, we're going to announce, and then within 7 days, we're going to remind, and the reminder is going to be a bonus if you buy a package from us. And it's been crazy effective. That really came from our clients saying, well, how do you grow your events? Well, this is what we do. We do this as a rule. So you announce on October 19th, which technically is a little bit early. That's a little bit outside the 7-day range, but this is really trying to generate urgency and call to action. So in this case, it's save $20, sign up early. We're going to do these 3 things on this day. We're going to do a reminder on the 28th with our past participants, and then we're going to use our paid audience, which has a little bit of overlap, but has a broader reach 2 days later or 3 days later to actually have a final reminder the day of. And again, this example incorporates Facebook posts, and it's not a post, it's boosting, it's spending money with Facebook. And depending on how big your audience is, it costs you more or less to reach more people. So that's 6 activities for that one promotion. And that's not too cumbersome. There are some promotions that are substantially more cumbersome, but if you document how you do it and you build your plan, then you're really just handing it off the next time you have to execute it. So you can imagine, let's just go through and say that someone activated the majority of their milestones, but they didn't put any marketing together for, I think in this screen, I think 8 of them don't have any marketing. So you're looking at the January giveaway. That's great, you're giving away a hat. Awesome, nobody knows about it. No one's gonna just go to your event website and read it and find out that it's happening, or go to your Facebook page and read your specific page because you made a post about it. You have to market it. You have to boost it if it's on Facebook. You've got to email to whatever audience you can reach within your budget, or create a budget to announce that in a reasonable time frame. The other thing, and that's why I put gray circles around them, because quite honestly, anything with a gray circle around it in that example, I think is basically a missed opportunity. The other gray line here is your top of marketing. There's no top of mind marketing in that example. And that means that when people hear about, when you send them a, hey, hurry up and sign up, I mentioned earlier, there's no awareness of your event. They don't, they might know about it, they might have heard about it before, but you have to remind them what's different, what's the brand, because every other event is out there putting their brand in front of people in a different way. And we see this over and over again. So a more reasonable looking picture, and this is the picture we use, but we go ahead and have full year print campaigns for our events. We might back that off for some clients. They might do 6 months, depending on what they're doing, but they'll also have another period where they're doing web banners, and those web banners can be inexpensive depending on who they're running them through. But again, people have to be used to what you're trying to sell them. Another point on this too is these email dots and even some of the social stuff, it doesn't mean that you're spending money on it. It could mean that you're partnering with the specialty retailer who has an audience. It could mean that you have a beneficiary who has a huge audience and they're sending out emails on your behalf. We had a great partner with Habitat for Humanity, and they brought about, I think it was maybe 400 or 500 people through the promo code that we share with them. So we had maybe a $5 promo code, and they ended up promoting it enough where, because they're incented, because the more people that register, the more people there are to raise funds for Habitat. So it all was making sense, and we actually give them back the value of the promo back to the charity for when they do stuff like that. So that to me is more reasonable, and again, it's a lot. If you look at the number of activities, that's 112 activities across that, and that's the print ad for each month or the web banner for each month if you're changing it up. Each one of those has a series of activities in it, and it can be overwhelming, but we can help take away some of that mystery, take away some of that cumbersome by leveraging our methodology for people.